Our Ismailian nation is under, honestly, a fascist attack. I mean, the Ismailian nation have nothing to do with any colonizing any other people land, occupying any other land in slavery, and I have explained about this. Talking about the real Ismailian, they have nothing, and of course, definitely the Israelites are among them. Uh, the Muslim, the real Israel. I'm not talking about the Gohem Ginter like Mr. Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of the so-called Israeli state, or the other authentic groups, either from Europe. They are not Israelis. They can lie. They can explain as much as they want. They can make problems as you are not Israelite, and definitely have nothing to do with the Yahudian faith. This is we can call it a group, a bunch of cults, a bunch of styles, and you relate it in rules. You're adding it to the Torah, using the Talmud or whatever, and calling yourself Israelis. This lie need to be exposed. Now, this is not the topic. The Ishmaelian are under occupation. Under. Definitely, they are it is an occupation to a certain level. And these monarch agents are needed to resume and continue this occupation, which is beneficial to the West, beneficial to the interest of Russia, beneficial of the so-called Shiite in the so-called Iran, beneficial to beneficial for the so-called Israelis. It's beneficial to the occupiers here in Egypt, the regime that overcome the democracy. Beneficial even either you believe it or not, even to other parts. Not to all, but so many. I mean, uh, in Gulf State, do you think someone among the extreme so-called Hindus would prefer me, or he would prefer the monarchs? He would prefer the monarchs. They can open to him opportunity in Gulf States that if there is the Ismailian are going to represent their country and use their resource, will be at that place where they are investing in their own country. Understand me? The so-called Israelis. Do you think the so-called Israelis, starting with Netanyahu or Trump or America, that they want the Ismailian to be represented by its own people? Ismailian or Gulf states. No, they want monarch agents. Do the things that they want. Take the oil in a very cheap prices. Do whatever they want. Control Mecca and Medina. Control the resources, gas and oil. You understand me? Control this important place and Holy Land. They don't want someone to represent the country and say, you're Gohams, you're not Israelis. Show me one monarch. If I am there in Gulf States, if I am in Saudi Arabia and I start saying that we are the real Israelis, and these people are Goham, they are not Israelis, Netanyahu, I'm not attacking them, I'm not insulting them, and they shouldn't speak about Taima or speak about a so-called Israeli kingdom from the river to the river. You shouldn't and start saying that you are manipulating the truth even about mentioned in the Torah or the book called Bible. Do you think they will leave me alone? No, they will not. They are agents. This is it. So the so-called Shiite. Do you think that the so-called Shiite in Tehran would want someone like me to say that these groups in Gulf State that you depend on and you use the so-called Shiite in Gulf States who are not natives. They are not from the Arabian. No, they are not originals. They call them. No, they are not. They came from outside. This will be terrible to the so-called Shiite. Do you think Gulf states will allow this? No, the Gulf states will remain the way because this will expose them. Saud House have nothing, no roots to the Arabs. Absolutely. Al Maktoum in Dubai, no roots to the Arabs. Al Khalifa, they depend, Al Thani, and Al Sabah, they depend on those people who have no roots. This is not the problem. We can depend on others. The problem when the others are racist, when the other hate the guts of the truth that this is the Ismailian land, and they use misconception and they imposed the deception and they imposed the facts that was neglected through 1,000 years or centuries, that this is the Ishmaelian territory because of the light of Islam, that we are all equal and this planet is for us all. You understand me? This is Islam. So they wanted to continue neglecting these facts and at the same time destroy Islam. I mean, there's a lot of people who are calling themselves Shiite, got nothing to do with the normal Islam. They are settled there for a century or something, or others in Mecca. Now they are no longer Muslims. When we say now you are no longer Muslim, accepting the Islam that represent this land, or they want to call it Wahhabist or whatever, the Ismailian tribe, and you're assaulting the Ismailian. Now you don't want to accept Islam, then let's deal with it in a secular, liberal, atheist manners. They start messing around. They don't want this. They want us to neglect the fact and at the same time come and say we don't want any Islam, we don't want your culture, we don't want any recognition to you as the natives. This is a crime. So the whole world, there is an attack against our nation, a terrible attack that you cannot even imagine, an attack that is a terrible, destructive attack. I have no time. I think I have explained enough. My channels explain a lot. My main channel. Let's go to France. Do you see France? In France, there is 20 general. The French army sent a message to the politicians. It's almost like a threat. They are talking about it. I mean, the other. I'm not going to use the word whore. The other woman that went going to election, the far right, she welcomed the 20 general criticism to Macron. I mean, Macron is not enough. What he's doing against Islam, and this is not the topic. The topic is she welcomed. She said, "Good job, generals." Yes, criticize Macron and criticize this. Almost it's a criticism to the democracy. The democracy is not in at certain levels, okay? And so many people welcome this. Oh, among the French people. Oh, Macron, yeah. And so many anti-foreigners, anti-non-French, anti-non-Muslims, you name them. This is an example. I can go to the east of the world or the west. What do we mean east and west? You choose any part of the world and I'll give you examples, certain example, explaining the contradiction that the others who are attacking us using. I'm not talking about only France. This is an example. Just recently, last week, the 20 generals said they don't like what's happening, the economy, the whatever, a lot of problems, and so many anti-foreigners, who Macron is not enough for them. Welcomed this, and the far right, this woman, welcomed what the generals have did. Okay. Now, if let's say something happened like Egypt, the military, supported by Gulf states, the agents, and America and others, and the so-called Israeli state, they supported as well. Definitely, if you go to Iran, the so-called Shia, they don't want some similar power, Mustashar Bashir, like them. They want to be the only Islamic waves, even if they have nothing to do with Islam. Now, this is another topic as well. Imagine if the army took control in France. Who will be the biggest loser? Definitely the foreigners. Definitely the Muslims. Definitely the immigrant. The Muslims and those who are coming from outside will be the biggest losers. Full stop. Full stop. Full stop. I don't want to explain more. Go to Egypt. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, Mr. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, took over the power and destroyed the democracy. That's why the respectable Mr. legitimate president of Turkey, Erdogan, I mean, I wouldn't show respect to Turkey if Erdogan was not the president. That's it. If Erdogan is not the president, your history, especially the last 2 centuries, is disgusting. So I salute you because of Erdogan. Either you want to accept this salute or not. This is my opinion, okay? And it's representing the truth. It's a matter of respect. It's not love to Erdogan. A great respect. Sometimes I put some hearts, which means recognition. A man who is respected. Anyway. So I respect Turkey because of Erdogan. And I'm going to say it again and again and again. Okay? When we talk about this century and the century before, I respect Turkey because of Erdogan. That's it. The party, of course. So respect to the Turkish people and the Turkish Look at Egypt. The military, overcome and killed the legitimate chosen president. What happened to the majority, the Muslims? They were fucked. Go to the so-called Christians, they are happy. Go to the interest of external, those who are outside. Fine, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is doing. What happened to the people? More dictatorship, more lack of freedom of speak. Women are raped in jails. Don't question me. Men are beaten up and tortured. It's disgusting. A lot died in the jails since 2013. I remember it when I was there in Ismaili territory. Okay. But France, no. In France, if the army took over, all Muslims will face a real persecution. Unbelievable persecution. Either they will continue insulting Muhammad, peace be upon him, or not. Either they want to worship Jesus, the pig of earth, the faggot, Buddhified Jesus, pig of earth, or not. The son of the devil, who have nothing to do with our Messiah, the real Messiah, the Isa, the son of Virgin Mary, or not. Okay. Let's take emotion away. I hate it. I hate your faith. It's disgusting. You are disgusting. Yes, you're so-called Christian. You stink. And the lies that you're bringing. You and other dark group all over the world. Easy and simple. Okay. So, do you see the difference? If the army took there, the people will be represented. The angry people, those who doesn't want any Algerian to be in their country. Those who, look at Germany. Germany is one of the main factors. Adolf Hitler is almost an agent to the devil and to the, there is a video calling that Adolf Hitler and his employer, Rothschild or whatever. There was a group, economical group, surrounding Adolf Hitler, Jews and things like that. And they took him to the wave of persecuting or not accepting the Jews. They took him to that area. And it was a nationalist movement. And the Jews crossed the line at that between 18th century and 19th century. I don't want to talk about this. The Jews in Russia, the Red Army, they did a lot of crimes against the so-called Christian Jews, lieutenant, sergeants, and the Red Army, the Russian. When they entered Europe, they start raping the European women, the West, and all of those who are in the side or not of Adolf Hitler. Now, this is not the point. Not the point. Establishing the so-called Israeli state, Adolf Hitler is behind it. Germany is behind it. You're allowed to say, I don't want any foreigners. But when it's come to me, in the Ismailian territory, oh, this is wrong. When I say I don't want those people who lie, who came and settled, we didn't ask them to come, we didn't colonize their country. The Mughals ruled and brought prosperity and humanity and protection to the so-called Hindus groups in India. The Berber, like Tariq bin Ziyad, went to Andalusia. There might be some Arab little bit, and liberated Andalusia, and the Spanish people, the native, accepted Islam. The Coptics accepted Islam and they went and moved to Berber. The Africans, like Sudan, by the trade and other manners, they accepted Islam. The Ottomanic are the rule. They are not Arab. They rule the Islamic world. When you talk about Baghdad and Damascus, the Amawids and Abbasis, this is part of the Ismailian territory. No, you have a problem. Don't look at these borders. Don't say, oh my God, Arabs are in Medina, hundreds of miles. No, this is a lie. Jerusalem is, in a way or another, either in the line of the Arabian Peninsula or inside it. Yes, no. Yes. Look at it. Look. See Jerusalem? Do you see it? Do you see the Arabian Peninsula? Do you see it? Do you see that Sinai? Do you see what? You are from far. You are from Africa. You are from Europe. You are from. Don't put the problems. At the end, you will pay the price. Yeah. Thereafter, definitely. Or in this life, it might take some time. Oh, definitely, you are bad people. Your so-called Zionist movement, this belief of the Antichrist, and start trying to bring the Jews and Christians together. We agree with them style. The Antichrist. When we talk to them, we say to them, this is the Antichrist. This is Al-A'war al-Dajjal. Your son, Jesus, the son, the Spirit, our son, give us your through Jesus. We Lord Jesus, please don't worship the Antichrist. Yashua, do not do this. And if you want to insist away. Don't, for example, convince. They will delete my video and then make her a model. She's a so-called Christian, no longer Muslim model. Oh, now we'll take her back to Islam. Come on. No, don't bring me destruction. Okay, we want to be in heaven. I want to be in heaven. Okay. Now, this is not about the religion. It's just a comparison between Egypt and France. At the same time, Egypt and France. Do you see? In Egypt, the natives, the majority, the Muslim Coptics natives, accepted their ancestors, accepted Islam, they are persecuted. Democracy is destroyed. The regime in Egypt is working for external interest. He's fucking the people for outside. He is welcoming and protecting the so-called Israelis. He is destroying the people of Sinai. The natives, they are killing them, they are torturing the people of Sinai. There is a lot of videos, and I have showed you after Assisi, and even after Assisi. They destroyed cities in the border between Palestine and Egypt, occupied Palestine, cities, because people want to resist. But in France, if the army took over, they will be worse than the generals in Algeria who raped and killed the range of Algerians last centuries, okay, or before. This is a contradiction. This is the anti-Christ side. This is the dark side. This is the kafir, infidel side. Fine, it's Europe. The Muslim didn't. No. You need to retain this. If Muslim liberated Europe, they slept on it. They slept. We would be in a better position. Nationalist movement wouldn't come and affect the Turkish and made them racist. The Turkish, I mean, they have nothing. Had nothing to do with Islam when they used to use that. What do you call it? They put it in the ass, and I call it the ball. I don't know why I said ball. In my stick, it's like a big stick in the ass. There is a name for it from Dracula. The racial discrimination. A lot of problems came from Europe. But if you want to insist on doing your darkness either in Africa or in Europe or any other part of the world or China, don't, for example, the so-called Hindu is always bothering us, or a so-called Buddhist. Emirate is good, Saudi Arabia not good. Why? Because Saudi Arabia, Mecca, Medina, they are not allowing people to have house of worship. Who's helping him after 11 September, the inside job? The so-called Christian, the so-called Jews. The so-called Israeli, the Goyim, Gentile, who call themselves Jew, it's better for him. And they say many things in their videos, like why the Muslim are not, we are close to the Muslim, but the Christian, they don't understand that they have nothing to do with Allah, Ilahum. Yeah, we sent the message, and the real Israelis, they bring the wrath of God, and they question even the verses of the book of Allah, which was revealed, final revelation to humanity. So the so-called Israeli will be more than happy with the so-called Hindu. The so-called Hindu want to destroy, because the so-called Hindu have no interest in the Holy Land, because he's not from there. But the Muslims, among them the real Israelis like me, I'm interested. Allah wants me to liberate it. Allah is putting an instruction, of course, for you. Who's Allah? Who's God? Who's this? This is Satan. This, because you don't understand. This is. Regardless, it's my native land. It's mine. By the faith, Allah gave me an instruction to liberate it. That's why they hate Islam. You see, the so-called Israelis, they are occupying a country that is not theirs. The so-called Shiite, Allah wants me to resist them. And it's our land. They don't want this. They work together against the nation. You can see the so-called Shiite happy with Bill Clinton and Khatami and Hafez al-Assad at that time. Not something obvious, but there is a lot of things. Khatami and Bill Clinton after 11 September. It's ours. It's our territory. Why you want to mess around with us? So the so-called Hindus will be always supported by a Holland or Polish Jew, a Holland Jew, because the so-called Hindus have no interest in the Holy Land. But the Muslims, either they want to call themselves Palestinians, Ismailis, and Gulf States, other part, and among them the real Israelis, it's their belief interest, and it's the instruction of God, and it's a matter of life and death to liberate the Holy Land from this second crusade attack, satanic attack by the star of Satan, which have nothing to do, dimensional satanic star, which have nothing to do with David's star, exactly like the Munira, which they took by their cult coming from the Romans. And I mean, among the Romans, the Romans before, so many who used to be in a cult accepting gays. These people before Constantine and after Constantine start to achieve some respectable positions as a Roman Catholic, worshipping Jesus, the pig of earth. Pagans with Christianity, with Islam, and this is the result, a freak religion. They are far worse than the Dhalin who lost their way. Don't be angry with the truth. Don't be angry with the truth. Accept the truth, either you're right or not. Accept it. Yeah. Disgusting. So, what is this? Why you are defiled? Why you wanna have sex? Put it in the Bible. The Messiah did this. The Messiah understand that this is a need, spiritual need. This is how it is. It's cults. Cults, they joined it together. This is the universal Roman Catholic. Protestant, the Jews have something to do with it. The Gohem Jews and sacrificing children and things and problem happening in France. I don't want to talk about this. This is the truth. This is not lies. Okay? That's why they called for secularism, and at the same time the devil is manipulating you. وجد ضالته وقد وجد إبليس ضالته في الروم ويقلبهم كيفما يشاء على اليمين وعلى الشمال. That's you. This is you. The hadith is talking about you, but you're angry. That's why Muhammad, why circling Kaaba? They worship the stone. Yeah, بلدان المخلدون. Yeah, what is this throwing the stone? Why he want Jerusalem? They call it حروب الاستيعاد. Look, the first crusade, taking it back, it was never used. حروب الاسترداد. It is never used. It was never used. It was never used. The Holy Land was. Why the Pope said حروب الاسترداد, the crusade of getting it back. You were on occupy. That's why Allah sent Muhammad to liberate it. That's why. All human are jund for Allah. The virus is from the jund of Allah. The bat is a jund of Allah. Even the... I need to close. Thank you very much.